Jane, you've done well with your surgery. As I understand, you've lost about 150 pounds and have kept that off for over 4 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Before you had the surgery, did you have any success with diet and exercise?
No, not at all. I have tried every diet known to man, and I didn't succeed, obviously. And I knew that there was something I had to do for my health to get the weight off.
What was it that prompted you to seek out the surgery and, more specifically, come here to Centennial for your operation?
I knew that I couldn't do it totally on my own, that I needed help from something besides the fad diets. And I had heard a lot of positive things about Centennial from other patients, and I knew there was the comprehensive bariatric center, and I knew that I needed all the support that I could get in making the decision to have the surgery.
Now, we often talk about surgery being nothing more than a tool. Even at 4 years, having lost 150 pounds and doing as well as you have, do you find that you still have to work at it?
Every day. It's a one day at a time fight with obesity, even having surgery. It's a lifestyle change, and it's daily. I have to be accountable for everything that I eat and what my exercise consists of, which I love exercise now. You know, it's changed my life, the surgery, so it's made me a whole different person inside out. So,
Jane, earlier you were mentioning how every day is a struggle. You continue to struggle, you continue to work with your weight maintenance. Where do you think support group factors into that struggle?
Well, support group was very instrumental in me making the decision. I actually started attending support groups before my surgery, and it was very instrumental in me making the decision of which surgery to get and actually giving me the support I need to go through with the surgery, because it's quite frightening. Any kind of lifestyle change is quite, scary. Support group is just a great tool, as well as the tool itself, in maintaining your weight and keeping you accountable and interacting with other gastric bypass patients or weight loss surgery patients. And actually, one of the support groups, I actually demonstrated Zumba, and that was I would have never dreamed when I was attending support groups 4.5 years ago that I would actually be a person up doing something. I was just wanting the surgery and didn't know if that was ever going to happen, but it's really, support groups have really brought me as far as I am with my success, I feel.
Kind of helps you stay the track and
Yes.
helps you get back on track when you maybe have had a little bit of a slip.
Exactly, and you interact with other patients, and you actually now, when I go to the support group, I see other women or patients, future patients that had the same questions that I had, before I decided to do it. So,
as I understand, you recently got a job modeling.
Actually, I want to be modeling for a photographer, and he doesn't know anything about my weight loss surgery. He's just interested in photographing me, and so I'm very excited about that new part of my life, I guess. So, and I would have never been able to have achieved anything that I have achieved unless I had weight loss surgery.
That's great.
Yeah.
Long-term wise, though, have you had any complications or issues associated with the surgery that you had?
Not at all. I've done very well. I've done everything pretty much by the book, though, as far as my vitamins and things that I need to do daily. And so I haven't had any problems whatsoever. Weight loss surgery is a wonderful tool, and I'm glad I did it. So,
as I understand, you've had some communication with Carneal.
Actually, yes. I put a picture of me. I'm on Twitter, and she's following me, and I'm following her, and just kind of expressed to her that I'm on the same journey she's on, and she responded in saying that I looked great and thought I had done a wonderful job. So it was awesome to get that. So it was like, yes.
Well, you've done well, and we're really proud.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, I've had some rather serious medical conditions. I was diabetic. I had to have a hip replacement, and the doctor had told me that there was nothing left he could do for my back, that the arthritis had fused the vertebrae together, so I desperately needed to lose weight.
Well, I was very supportive of Bill because he had so many medical issues. I also had a lot of medical issues, but not nearly as severe as he did.
And one of my coworkers had been here and had a lap band procedure, and she'd lost 80 pounds in a rather short period of time. So I said, what in the world have you done? And she said, I went to Centennial Medical.
I started coming to support group with Bill, and we would come at least twice a month. After about 3 months, going from saying I would never have weight loss surgery, I was all for it. Within 6 months of my surgery and losing weight, I was only on one prescription. No more diabetic medicine, no more high blood pressure medicine. So it's like a whole new world for us.
We're best friends. We're hardly ever apart. We like to be together, and we like to do things together, and with our health, it was becoming more and more difficult to do anything.
I feel 20 years younger because I felt like I was 10 years older than what I am. Couldn't hardly walk. We never walked anywhere. We just didn't. We weren't active at all. We'd sit on the couch. And now we go to the zoo. We love to walk. We go to the rec center and work out, and we're having a great time.
My diabetes is almost totally under control. My diet alone had almost a perfect blood test the last time I saw the doctor. I feel like going to work. I feel like a new man.
So, Mr. Pandy, tell me how you've been doing since surgery.
Doing very well, feeling very comfortable. I've been very pleased with the weight loss I've had so far, and this is, it's better than I thought it would be.
That sounds really awesome. I know you're in the hospital 2 or 3 days. Do you remember anything about your hospital experience?
I remember coming out of surgery. I remember being up walking just within a few hours. I think the biggest thing I remember was no pain. You know, maybe a little discomfort, but no pain that I recall, and was out of there pretty quickly.
Well, very good. Anything about your nursing care or maybe the pharmacist?
Fantastic nursing. In fact, I've made sure I sent them a thank you card afterwards. They were very attentive and concerned about maybe post-op pain, and encouraging me to get some fluids in, and discussion with the pharmacist about what medications I would need and any adjustments afterwards.
Well, that really should be very interesting to you, with you being a pharmacist.
Yes, sir, it was. Very concerned about it, but glad that also someone took the time to explain those meds to me.
Well, I know you've been doing great since your operation, but maybe for other patients, other co-workers, maybe contemplating having bariatric surgery, what advice do you have for them?
Without question, investigate it, review it, get as much information as possible. I don't know that a person would have so much success with it if they haven't found out what's going to happen to them afterwards and some of the changes they would have to make, the lifestyle changes, that is.
Well, certainly I think you're right. It's so important for patients to research the operations, be informed, and know their expectations and what's expected from them, not only from my standpoint, but from the, the dietitians, exercise physiologist.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Cindy. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Huston. Great.
Good to see you. You had surgery in 2010, right?
I did.
Wonderful. Tell us about what procedure you had, how much weight you've lost, and how it's changed your life.
I had the gastric sleeve done, and I've lost 145 pounds.
Wow.
And it's changed everything. My blood pressure is down. I was borderline diabetic before, now my blood sugar is completely normal.
Wonderful.
I can exercise, I can do anything I want to that I couldn't before, so.
That's great. I hear you're having plastic surgery coming up.
I am scheduled for plastic surgery in 2 weeks.
Now, how did you come to that decision, and what process did you go through to finally have it done?
To the large amount of weight I lost, I had some extra skin that I wasn't happy with, and I've decided to do my arms for an arm lift and have a tummy tuck done because I carried a lot of weight in my abdomen.
How did you decide on your surgeon?
I called here and asked for a list, and actually a friend of mine that had already had surgery had seen one of the doctors, Dr. Heineke, and that she recommended him. He was her favorite of the ones she had seen. So I went and had a consultation with him and was very impressed with his before and after pictures and decided to have it done. I'm off during the summer, so I wanted to have it done and get ready to go back to work.
Good. Your friend Holly, she had a sleeve.
She did.
Thank you for sending her to me.
You're welcome.
She's doing great.
She is.
She might need plastic surgery eventually. She's doing so well.
She actually went with me to the consults, so
neat.
she could see if she was interested in that too.
You've done very well. What would you recommend to patients who are considering weight loss surgery?
I would recommend doing the research, talking to friends and coworkers that you know that may have had it done, looking at the different surgeons, the websites. Obesity Help was a website that really gave me a lot of information, and they had a support group for every different surgery. So once you decided on your procedure, you could follow patients on there talking about the challenges they were having and the success they were having. So I would definitely check out every procedure and decide what's best for you.
Sure. Well, great. Thank you.
I came to work here at the Center for the Treatment of Obesity for Dr. Dyer almost 2 years ago. My entire life I've struggled with my weight and never thought of surgery as an option for me. I worked here for a year before I finally decided to go through with the process. When I started, I weighed just over 300 pounds. It has always been an issue for me to be overweight, mostly being so young, mostly worried about my appearance and what other people thought. By the time I got to 300 pounds, it wasn't about my appearance anymore. My health was going. I couldn't walk around. I couldn't walk across the street to get something to drink. I couldn't walk up the stairs. I couldn't play with my son. And that was when I decided that it was time to do something. And July of 2012, Dr. Dyer performed gastric bypass surgery on me. I had a wonderful experience through the hospital and here at the office. I, since then, have lost 120 pounds and would not change my decision for anything in the world. One of the life-changing moments, the first time I really started realizing that I had made the right decision, was a couple months ago. I took my son to the zoo. The last time I took my son to the zoo was a few months before I had my surgery, and we were there only a couple of hours, and I spent the entire day stopping and crying and out of breath. We ended up having to leave the zoo because I couldn't do it anymore. So 2 months ago, I took my little boy to the zoo by myself and spent the entire day with him with no problems. Best decision I ever made. I told you I was gonna cry. I know for a lot of people, and one of the reasons that I hesitated for a long time was I was worried that people would probably think I took the easy way out. And it's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. It was not the hardest thing I've ever done. It was a complete lifestyle change. But it is one that is completely worth it. And it makes your life and your worth and just you, it makes you better.
Well, I only had, at the time that I made the decision to do surgery, I only had one comorbidity, which is sleep apnea. It was pretty severe, but I wasn't diabetic, didn't have high blood pressure or anything like that. My wife had been on me to lose weight for the better part of our 12-year marriage at the time, and nothing had really seemed to work. We tried weight loss pills, we tried some exercise. I wasn't committed to it. Finally turned 50, went for my colonoscopy, and to weigh me in, they took me back to the loading dock and put me on the freight scale. So that was a nice little wake-up call. My general practitioner recommended that I come to a weight loss seminar. One of our neighbors happens to be one of the dietitians here, Pam, who recommended that I come to Dr. Olson's seminar, and I did. Amy came with me, and process flew from there.
Great.
Well, about the same time he started his process, I went for my annual physical to we share the same doctor, so to our general practitioner. He diagnosed me with hypertension. And I had also been curious about, since I'm now in menopause, don't I need to go to another doctor? And so he referred me to a gynecologist. She in turn diagnosed me with diabetes. This was all within a 2-week span. So I get hit pretty hard in the month of June and ended up going to the seminar with him as a support for him, only to hear that the procedure he was considering would take care of my diabetes. That the likelihood was so high that I would be foolish not to consider it. Okay. I was 100 pounds overweight, had 2 comorbidities, and that is what my insurance company required to meet qualifications. The program at Centennial is all-inclusive, and we felt like that was going to ensure our success in a better way than any of the other programs that we had checked out in town.
They know you. You know the exercise physiologist. You really get to know the dietitians and the doctor staff. You get to know the surgeon. And the fact that it's on the same campus as the women's hospital where our surgery was held. We were just across the street from where the staff was. The nurses checked in on us. It was the fact that it was all-inclusive and you got to know everybody right up before the surgery really made us comfortable with our decision to have the surgery here.
It makes us as patients not feel like patients, but feel like part of a family. Like we can walk through this door and it's okay here. You know, as heavy as we were, to walk through the door and nobody was judging us, nobody was being condescending. It wasn't, you know, everything was geared towards us and our size, which was great. You know, when we first decided to do this together, several family members wanted to do a sanity check on us, on both of us, because they said that wasn't right, that how were we going to take care of each other? And Dr. Olson assured us that there is no taking care of you. You're fine. And he was right. I was extremely surprised about that. I was off of my pain meds the day of surgery and up walking, and I felt great. So there was no taking care of me. There was no taking care of him. We were doing just fine. Our family was extremely worried because we were doing this together, and I think after the fact they've seen that we really did make the right decision. And you know, like Glenn said, God put us in this direction. He put us in contact with Pam, who was a neighbor of ours and had been sort of coaching us for a couple of years that we really needed to come in and see her and see one of the doctors, and then Dr. Olson was just a perfect fit for us, thankfully for both of us. And that doesn't happen very often, that one doctor fits the needs of both in the couples, but he holds us accountable and encourages us, and he is really invested in us.
That's a very good point.
And we never felt like that investment was to enrich his statistics as a physician, but he really was invested in us as people. And that's the feeling we get from everybody here.
And to prove it even more so, to me, my recovery wasn't near as smooth as Amy's. As a matter of fact, I had a little bit of a difficult period a couple of days post-op. And when I came home from the hospital, Dr. Olson personally phoned our house to check on me and Amy.
For 3 days.
For 3 days when we came home. So we came home from the hospital the day of Thanksgiving, which was a little strange. Everywhere we looked on the TV was food, 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 and we didn't want anything to do with it. But I mean, Dr. Olson personally called us morning, noon, and night for 3 days during that holiday period to check on us to make sure we were doing okay. When we first came to the seminar at Centennial, Dr. Olson was great with his presentation. It was very just, here are the facts, here's what we can do. He made no guarantees or promises or anything like that. He said, but this is what the facts support and this is what our results have supported. He just laid it out there. Staff members were there to take our information and to begin the process for insurance clearance immediately. It didn't have to wait any time. It's just the process, the ball rolls from that first day. And then as you come in for your consultations with the physicians, with the nutritionists, with the exercise physiologists, and with the psychologists, the ball just keeps rolling. It just keeps rolling. And you don't, there are no dead periods during this. You just get the immediate support, and they work you on the program, even pre-surgery, to make sure that you are in the best shape possible for your post-op recovery. And then they have the rehab facility here on campus where you get a discount at the gym there to work with the exercise physiologists all during the times that you're there. And it's 3 days a week minimum, and you just get the best care. We did the exercise physiologist here on campus for the first 2 months post-op, and then we moved to a gym closer to our home where we can go 5 days a week. We still check in with a fixed exercise physiologist to make sure that there are new exercises that we can add as our body heals to increase and enhance our weight loss, but also to increase and enhance our body tone. You know, losing the pounds is one thing, but to actually increase your body tone so that you feel better about yourself, you look better to yourself, to your spouse, to other people, to actually feel and look as good to yourself in the mirror as you possibly can. This program covers the whole spectrum, and it's not just about the surgery. It's about your lifestyle.
I've noticed that, people say to me, oh, this must have been really difficult for you. And in some ways, it's been difficult, but in some ways, it's been very easy. It's like a weight's been taken off of me, excuse the pun, but a weight has been taken off my shoulders where, although I still have to make wise decisions about my diet and exercise, in some ways, I don't have a choice.
For us, as a couple, the bariatric surgery that we experienced, that we went through, added what we believe to be years to our life, and it cured her diabetes, it cured her hypertension, and it is curing my sleep apnea. It is adding quality years to our life. If you're remotely considering the slightest possibility of bariatric surgery, please don't hesitate. Find a seminar that is offered here at the Centennial Center for Obesity. Come hear what they have to say. Come hear their program. Talk to the people on staff. Do your research, get your facts, but do it, and do it now.
I totally agree. Best choice we ever made.
So I did a lot of research, checked out several different programs, and Centennial, I liked the doctors, I liked the patients I met. I attended several of the sessions that they do, preliminary, got a lot of information, and it just seemed like the place was right for me. So I came to Centennial to the seminars, listened to the doctors, what they had to say. I talked to several of the patients who were considering surgery and had got references to some who had already been through it, found out what I was getting into, met with the dietitian, met with the staff, and Centennial just seemed like a good fit for me. It was all the services they offered. It was like one-stop shopping, just the whole bouquet of everything I needed. It fit for me. It was a good fit for me. So I know that my highest recorded weight was 343 pounds, but I was probably 350 or maybe even a little higher. They put you on a program to lose weight, a certain amount of weight before surgery. I entered surgery in 2007 at 309. A year later, I was 180 pounds. And they teach you how to re-eat, teach you a whole new way of living, basically. And I just continued to practice what they had taught me, and I dropped another 30 pounds without even trying. But my goal weight was 180, and it has just changed my life in so many ways. I couldn't mow the grass before. Could barely walk down to get the mail. I'd turn all beet red. But those things, now I'm under the house and I'm out working in the yard and just do whatever I want to do. It's been a life changer, and I can't thank the staff here enough. And this is what I used to wear. I was a size 56, and I'm now 32, 33, 34. And my next size went from a 27 to 13 and a half. So it's been just an amazing experience, and I thank everybody at Centennial every day.